Yes, good afternoon, my dear students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
So I think the schedule is very much pretty clear. Okay, practice makes man perfect. Okay, it's many a times for the batch one students, but no problem. So as you all know, yesterday we learned Ctenophora. Today we'll be learning Platyhelminthes. As clearly told, we will also learn about earthworm parnelli. And on Friday, Saturday class, totally it will be the revision for your test for Monday. The remaining 4 days, that is Monday to Thursday, we can take the organ system level of organization or the morphology and anatomy of Annelida, Arthropoda, and Amphibia. So these are the three things there. That is, it is in case of Annelida, we are learning earthworm. Earthworm we will learn, cockroach we will learn, and also we will learn frog in 15 minutes after the 45 minutes class what has been assigned, or we can share the class for the same purpose. So knowing this, let us go to the today's class. So we have to start here today with, we have finished with Porifera, Coelenterata, Ctenophora in yesterday's class. So now we are going with Platyhelminths. So always in biology, as you all know, it's very easy when you know the names or when you split and learn the names. So platy means they are flat, they are dorso-ventrally flattened structure. They are dorso-ventrally flattened structure. Platy means flat and helminth means worm. So therefore, they are generally called as flat worms. They are dorso-ventrally flattened. They are pressed. They are dorso-ventrally flattened structure. Just give me a minute. Yeah, they are dorso-ventrally flattened structure. Therefore, we call them as flatworm. So most of these organisms are endoparasites. Endo means parasite are those organisms where they get their nutrition from host. Is that clear? So therefore, you should see that these are the most of these species, these phylum are generally endoparasites, where they are living inside the host body, like tapeworm, liver fluke, where take their nutrition from inside our body. They take their nutrition from inside our body. Therefore, we call it as them as endoparasites. And they are included, they are also found inside human beings. Flatworms show bilateral symmetry. Can anyone tell me what is bilateral symmetry? Yes, respond.
Left and right halves of the body are same, sir.
Yes, when an organism can be divided into two equal halves from the only one plane of central axis, then we call it as bilateral symmetry, and we call that plane as sagittal plane. And the first animal to have three germ layers is the first phylum to have Platyhelminths. Even though they are triploblastic, they are acoelomate. What do you mean by A in biology generally?
Absent.
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 Or absent.
Coelom is absent. All the three layers are present, but they are very close to each other. There is no space between each other. Therefore, coelom is absent, and it is the first phylum to exhibit organ level of organization. And some of them are also advanced to form organ system. Starting of organ and commencing of organ system also there, but the first phylum totally organ system we call it as Aschelminthus. That you have to remember. So in this case, if you see, these animals will have hooks and suckers will be there in the parasitic form to adhere themselves. Hooks and suckers will be there to adhere themselves. Okay, hooks and suckers will be there so that they can adhere or attach to the the host digestive system or the alimentary canal there. They can attach there and take the nutrition. So hooks and suckers are the structures developed in what type of forms of platyhelminth?
Parasitic form.
Parasitic forms of platyhelminths, and also some of them absorb their nutrition. So generally these animals, now they have incomplete digestive system. incomplete digestive system. But in case of tapeworm, they don't have a mouth to alimentary canal to pass the nutrition to the throughout the body, and it is having false segment. Only outer side it is growing, not the inner side. And each segment, when it is cut, no, they will grow into a new organism. So therefore, this will be a flat ribbon-like structure where they get the nutrition by absorbing the nutrition from the surface of the body. So, which give me the example for a platyhelminthes where the absorption of the nutrition in the host body is through their body surface.
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm. So tapeworm will not have alimentary canal. It does not have a developed alimentary canal. Instead, they get their nutrition directly from the body, okay, by the absorption of nutrients from their body surface in the host body. And coming to their excretory system, flatworms, I've already told, okay, flatworms have flame cells as their excretory structure. These flame cells are also called as protonephridia. What is the other name for flame cells?
Protonephridia.
Protonephridia. So these flame cells are involved in osmoregulation, maintenance of the ionic concentration in the body, and excretion of the nitrogenous waste. Excretion of the nitrogenous waste. It could be ammonia, urea, or uric acid, depending upon where it lives. Okay, this nitrogenous waste is removed from the flame cells of their body. And here, both the sexes are not separate. It is in the same organism. Therefore, an animal with both the sexes in the same, we call them as
hermaphrodite.
hermaphrodites. Fertilization is internal because they are host, no? The eggs could be digested. Therefore, fertilization is internal and they will all have larval stages. Therefore, development is direct or indirect?
Indirect.
Indirect. Some members like planaria possesses high level of regeneration. Planaria is freshwater or marine water. Where it is? It is a
Marine water.
Brine water.
fresh water. Planaria is seen in fresh water. Okay, it shows high level of regeneration. The capacity to regain the lost organ or the capacity to divide the fragments into two individuals. Okay, that is seen in case of planaria. So we are learning some examples. So parasitic forms will have hooks and suckers. Body surface absorption is seen in case of tapeworm. Regeneration is seen in case of planaria. Example for this is tapeworm, Taenium, liver fluke, fasciola. Okay, species name will be hepatica. So this is, you can see, even though you can see the segmented body, they are pseudo segment. What do you mean by pseudo in biology?
False.
False.
It is not a true segment, it is a false segment. And they have hook and suckers. Can you see here hook and suckers? Hook and suckers are the features of what type of organism in Helminth?
Parasitic.
Parasitic form.
Parasitic, and this is endoparasitic. So you have liver fluke, you also have two suckers there. Liver fluke, the scientific name of liver fluke is Fasciola hepatica. Is this clear? Am I clear to you?
Yes.
Sir, can you repeat what is the flame cell also called as?
Protonephridia.
Thank you, sir.
Flame cells are also called as protonephridia. So let us recall the same from the textbook. Whatever the points were there, all from textbook only, we will see. Yeah. Yes. What is the common name of flatworms? What is the scientific name of flatworms?
Platyhelminthes.
Platyhelminthes. How are they flat?
Dorsoventrally.
Dorsoventrally flat.
And most of them are what type of parasites?
Endoparasites.
Which is the
Endoparasite.
first triploblastic phylum?
Platyhelminthes.
And which is the first triploblastic acoelomate phylum?
Platyhelminth.
Platyhelminth.
What type of helminth will have hook and suckers?
Parasite.
Parasitic
What are the additional structures present in the parasitic form?
Hooks and
Suckers.
suckers.
hooks and suckers.
Okay, give me an example for a platyhelminth where the absorption is through their body surface.
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm. Okay, and specialized cells called flame cells are meant for osmoregulation and excretion. What is this flame cells also called as?
Protoplasma.
Okay, and in case of platyhelminth, the sexes are not separate. Therefore, these animals are all
Hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite.
Fertilization is internal and development is with larval stages. So means it is direct or indirect.
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 So which is the example of platyhelminth which shows high regeneration capacity?
Planaria.
Planaria.
What is the scientific name of tapeworm?
Inia.
Tania.
Okay. What is the scientific name of liver fluke?
Fasciolohepatic.
Yes. Just give me 1 minute. Can you see the screen sharing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we can see platyhelminths, also called as flatworms. They are dorso-ventrally flattened. The chapati that is prepared by your mother, the dough is dorso-ventrally flattened so that it is cooked there, right? The same way these are dorso-ventrally flattened. Can you tell me what is the dorso-ventrally flattened structure in case of plants? Yes?
Leaves, sir.
Leaves, very good. So this organism shows which level of organization?
Organ level.
Level, and advanced forms also show organ system level of organization. So here, this is tapeworm and this is planaria. Okay, they will have only one entry for the food. Therefore, the digestive system is complete or incomplete?
Incomplete.
So the body symmetry is bilateral. The organism can be divided into two equal halves in only one plane. The organism can be divided into two equal halves in only one plane. Yes. Coming on to the next, platyhelminth are showing general characteristics. If you take, they are made up of three germ layers: outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, inner endoderm. So they are the first triploblastic phylum. They are the first triploblastic phylum, okay, where they have three germ layers. And even though it is triploblastic, they are devoid of coelom. Therefore, they are coelomate or acoelomate? Acoelomate. There is no cavity there present. Next is their habit and habitat. Most of them are aquatic, endoparasitic, and some are free living. Planaria is free living. Liver fluke and others are parasitic forms. Okay. You also have aquatic planaria there. So you can see, as I told you, the digestive system, it is having only one common opening, which acts as both mouth and anus. Therefore, digestive system is
Incomplete.
incomplete, which is acting as both mouth and anus. The respiratory system is absent, but the exchange of gases takes place by the process of diffusion. As it is, okay, flattened organism, they can exchange the gases there. And circulatory system is also absent, and you see, asexual reproduction is by fragmentation. So which organism is showing high level of regeneration?
Planaria.
There, ovary and testis is throughout the length of the body. Can you see red color is ovary, pink color is ovary, and blue color is testis. So if you cut this organism in any angle, latitude, longitude, transverse, or into n number of fragments, each fragment will be growing into a new organism, and this capacity is called as.
Regeneration.
Regeneration.
Give me an example of platyhelminthes which shows high level of regeneration capacity.
Planaria.
Planarian.
So when do we call an organism as hermaphrodite?
When it has both the sexes.
Not separate.
When both male and female. When both male and female. Okay, I don't know, some lighting issue. Yeah. When both male and female sex organs are present in the same organism, okay, we call them as hermaphrodites. Fertilization is internal inside the female body. Yes, inside the female body. Development is indirect with several larval stages. Coming on to here, they are unsegmented, dorsoventrally flattened, except for tapeworm. Tapeworm is showing pseudo segmentation. They show segmentation, but it is pseudo segmentation that you have to remember there. And they are both not externally and internally segmented, only externally segmented there. And excretion is by flame cells. What is flame cells? Also called as
Protonephridia.
protonephridia. Please remember this. This will help you a lot when we go ahead. Next. What is the unique feature of this animal when it is a parasite? What are the structures that it possesses when it is a
Hooks and suckers.
Hooks and suckers.
hooks and suckers are there? And give me an example for an animal of platyhelminth which absorbs the nutrition through their body surface.
Planaria.
Tapeworm.
Planaria.
Tapeworm. Tapeworm would be a better example. Tapeworm would be a better example. Yes, you can see here. What is the scientific name of poke tapeworm?
Taenia solium.
Very important. Generally, those who have written test, you know the importance. The scientific name of poke tapeworm is Taenia solium. Liver fluke is Fasciola hepatica, and the regenerating high capacity of regenerating platyhelminth is Planaria. Okay, that you have to remember. Next.
So could you just tell the portions for Monday's exam once?
Next Monday's exam, right?
So the coming, yeah.
Coming Monday. Just I'll conclude this and then mention it. It would be better.
Okay, sir.
So coming to the summary of what we learned for today about platyhelminthes. So you see them, they show organ or organ system of level of organization, and they have bilateral symmetry. They are diploblastic, they are 3 germ layers, they are acoelomate, mostly marine, and also they are endoparasites. Endoparasitic forms of platyhelminth possess dash and dash.
Hooks and
Hooks and
suckers.
suckers.
Giant suckers.
Suckers. Respiratory system and circulatory system is absent. The asexual mode of reproduction is by fragmentation, and these animals, both the male and the female gonads are present in the same animal, therefore they are hermaphrodite. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect because they have many larval stages. So they are unsegmented, dorsoventrally flattened body. Excretion is through flame cells. Flame cells are also called as protonephridia. Example is Taenia solium. Taenia solium is an example for which type of tapeworm?
Tapeworm.
Poke tapeworm,
Tapeworm.
Fasciola, Planaria are some of the examples. I think someone asked for the schedule.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So it is from Ctenophora up to Arthropoda is the test portions for your next Monday. That is coming Monday. On 9th of August, you will be having test on Ctenophora up to Arthropoda. Ctenophora and up to Arthropoda is your syllabus. Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda are the phylums that you have to study for this week. Was that clear? See, every first class, or that was yesterday we had paper discussion, every first class of the week and the last class of the week, again I'll be clarifying the syllabus. Don't get confused. In case any updates, any immediate changes, the others will be brought about by your vice principals.
ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಮ್ಮ
Okay.
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ನೀನು
Abhijit, VR.
sir.
Have a conversation when you are under mute. Okay. Yes. Now knowing this, we'll also learn about some of the components regarding to earthworm. So give me a minute. Let me share a document. This is to prepare yourself for the next chapter also. In yesterday's class, we learned about earthworm. What is the scientific name of earthworm, Indian earthworms?
Cretima lumbricus. Ferritina and lumbricus.
Yes, tell me, what is the scientific names of Indian earthworms?
Ferritina and lumbricus.
Lumbricus.
Nishchit, you can speak.
By mistake, I did it, sir.
I think there is a delay in communication. I don't know whether it's from my end or from your end. So can you tell me the scientific names?
Ferritima and lumbricus.
Peritima and lumbricus is the two named scientific species of earthworm present in Earth. Okay, present in India. Okay, so they are generally burrowing. How do you detect the earthworm location?
Worm castings.
Worm casting. You detect it by worm casting. Next. So morphology. What is morphology? Study of
External structures.
External structures.
So it is a long cylindrical animal which is segmented. So the segmentation is seen only in 3 phylums of animal kingdom, and they are
Metamers.
Annelida, arthropoda, and chordata.
Annelida, Arthropoda, and Chordata. So these segments are called as metamers, and in case of earthworm, there is 100 to 200 metamers present. In case of earthworm, Indian earthworm,
Sorry, I'm mute.
100 to 120 metamers are present in case of earthworm, and their dorsal surface is dark. They will also have mid-dorsal line. They have longitudinal axis on the body. The ventral surface is distinguished by genital pores, male and female genital pores. So therefore, as both the gonads are present in the same organism, this earthworm is also hermaphrodite.
Hermaphrodite.
Okay, so anterior end consists of mouth and prostomium. Mouth and prostomium are present in the first segment. What is the first segment of earthworm called as? Peristomium. What is the first segment of earthworm called as?
Peristomium.
Peristomium.
Okay, and the prostomium is acting like a wedge-like structure which is detecting the environment and also crack the soil and burrow them. So it is also having sensory receptors, therefore it is sensory in function. It is sensory in function. Let's move back up. Yeah, next. So they are whose friend? Earthworm is whose friend?
Farmers.
Farmer's friend.
Farmer's friend. So what is the first segment of the earthworm called as?
Peristomium.
Peristomium.
Peristomium. It is called as peristomium. Okay, and we learned that clitellum or clitellum is present. From which segment to which segment?
14 to 16.
16 segment. The region before clitellum is called as preclitellar, and this is clitellar, and the region after it called as postclitellar region. Okay, and you can see they are segmented. Okay, they are forming the little ring-like structure. We call them as annelids. So, where is the female genital pore present? On which segment?
Female.
Female, on the ventral side. Okay, clitellum is from 14 to 16. Okay, it is from 14 to 16. Whereas the 4 pair of spermatheca is present between 5th to 9th segment of the animal. Okay, and a single female genital pore is opening on the 14th segment. A pair, that is 4, a pair of male genital pores are opening on the ventrolateral side on the 18th segment of the earthworm. So the numerous minute pores are nephridopores. The excretory structure of the annelid or earthworm is nephridia, and their locomotion is carried out by the longitudinal and circular muscles. Along with that, they all have a S-shaped locomotory structure, chitinous structure called as
CTEC.
CJ. It is present throughout the length of the body except for first, last, and clitellum. So CJ can be extendable, it is stretchable, or it is retractable. It can stretch or it can retract. So they are they are helping in locomotion. So now let us go with the anatomy. The anatomy means it is the study of the internal structures. So the body wall of the earthworm is covered externally by another non-cellular structure. Okay, cuticle. Cuticle is a protective layer. Okay, around it, and 2 muscular layers are there. As I told you, one is circular, other one is longitudinal. The circular and longitudinal muscles are meant for locomotion. You would have seen the worm crawling, right?
Yes,
Contract and moving. This contraction and moving is because of the circular and the longitudinal muscles present in them. Apart from the muscle, what else is the locomotory structure?
CTEC.
CT, and they have an epidermis. It is a single layer of columnar epithelium. The epidermis is made up of the protective outermost layer is made up of a single layer of columnar epithelium and also contains secretory glands, the slimy secretion. If you try to catch hold of the earthworm, it slips because of the slimy secretion that is present there. Let us move to the digestive. Let me stick on to digestive system today. So, as in case of earthworm, it is having both mouth and anus. The digestive system is
complete.
So, the entire duct from the mouth to anus, the alimentary canal we refer to as the digestive duct. We call it as alimentary canal, and it is straight. It is not coiled. You would have studied human digestive system in schooling, right? It is coiled. Small intestine, large intestine is coiled. But in case of earthworm, it is a straight tubular structure. What type of alimentary canal does earthworm have?
Straight alimentary structure.
Starts with the mouth from the first segment and ends with the last segment. The terminal mouth opens into buccal cavity. Where is buccal cavity? Third segment. Buccal cavity is from 1 to 3. Mouth to third segment, you call it as buccal cavity, and you have on the fourth segment, very, very important, I'm telling you. Is there any color option? I don't know, I'm not able to get it. So remember always, where is pharynx? Fourth segment. Where is the pharynx? Fourth segment. Buccal cavity 1, 2, 3. Mouth 1. Buccal cavity 1, 2, 3. 4 is pharynx. 4 is pharynx. You can write down here. Mouth is there. No? If you have your NCERT textbook with you, it would be great if you take the book. It would be great if you take the book. Write down 1. Mouth is in 1. Then write down 1, 2, 3 and write down as buccal cavity. Pharynx is 4. Pharynx is fourth segment. Pharynx is fourth segment. A small narrow esophagus is there. It is from fifth to seventh segment you have esophagus. 7, put the draw line in here. Fifth to seventh segment you have esophagus. And again from eighth segment it commences as a gizzard, churning organ. Have you seen any time a concrete mixer?
Yes, sir.
The stone, the sand, the cement, everything is mixed up, right? And it is broken into, okay, it is mixed up thoroughly. The same way, we chew in our mouth with the help of teeth. And we make it as a bowl to swallow by the help of tongue and saliva.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? That is taking place in our mouth. But as these annelids don't have mouth, they take the food directly into the alimentary canal where it is crushed or broken down into smaller fragments by the action of gizzard. Gizzard is present between 8th and 9th segment. Remember, every segment is important. You have to mug up. Okay, muscular gizzard. See the muscular gizzard, it will be like this. If it is a bladed structure, you can see my hand, right? If this is a bladed structure, if it is twisting this way, the food will be broken down into smaller fragments. And therefore, churning of food, crushing of food. Churning is the word we use scientifically. For your understanding, I'm telling crushing. Churning of food is taking place in gizzard, and then it is moving on to the stomach. Okay, then it is moving on to the stomach. Stomach is from 9th to 14th segment. Okay, and the food of the earthworm is decaying leaves and organic matter. So therefore, earthworm is coming under a decomposer category. Earthworm is coming under decomposer category. So if I slightly move above, you can see a triangular or conical structure. Can you? This structure, we call it as calciferous gland present in the, okay, this will be interstitial cecum. This will be interstitial cecum. So you have gizzard. Where is gizzard? 8th and 9th segment. Stomach is
9 to 14.
9 to 14 segment.
9 to 14 segment. And after that you have intestine. From 15 to last segment it is intestine. From 15 to last segment we call it as intestine. So if you see here, pre means before typhlozolar part of intestine. So I will explain what is typhlozo shortly. Okay, be patient. Okay, we will understand it is before typhlozo. Intestine 15 to 26th segment. 15th to 26th segment you have intestine continuously. And except 16th segment, the last 24th to 25th, there is an intestinal folding. Okay, so that will come there. So here at the 26th segment, there is a conical structure, intestinal cecum, that is nullifying the acidity. Okay, so here what happens here is it is secreting the digestive enzymes there. Intestinal cecum will be secreting the digestive enzymes, and the stomach is producing calciferous gland which is neutralizing the humic acid. You would have seen, okay, whenever any earthworm is decaying, it produces a gray color, black color, amorphous, okay, non-crystalline, amorphous, you know, right? Okay, amorphous, and a substance called as humic acid. It is, humic acid conversion is fast, but the decaying of humic acid is very slow. The decaying of humic acid is slow. So that is taken place, the nullification of acidity. Generally, what happens in our stomach, the food is acidified in the stomach. But in case of earthworm, the acidity is neutralized in the stomach because of calciferous gland. Which gland is neutralizing the acidity in the stomach because of humic acid?
Calciferous gland.
Calciferous gland. Calciferous gland in the stomach of the intestine is neutralizing the acidity of humic acid. The decaying substances will release humic acid. It is neutralized, okay, by calciferous gland. Calciferous gland is present in the stomach, whereas you have triangular, conical, paired, okay, gland is present on either side of the intestine, which we call it as intestinal CK. They produce digestive enzymes, which open in the 26th segment. So, when should absorption take place? Before digestion or after digestion?
After.
After. So, we
After
have
digestion.
studied as a science student in your schooling that the digestion, absorption, for the absorption, there is finger-like projections in the human being called as villi. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but earthworm cannot afford for this. Earthworm cannot afford for this. So what happens is, one second. They cannot afford for this. So what happens is, if this is one of the surface area, so where is surface area exposed more? In the first case or in the second case, A or B?
Second case.
B. So therefore, this folding is called as Typhlossole. That is why segment from 15 to 26, it is called as pre-typhallar. Where was that? Yeah. You call it as this segment pre-typhallosolar part. There is no folding. Once it is folded after 16, because enzymes are releasing from here, no, intestinal cecum. Then after 30, okay, after 25th. So except for 26th segment, the last 23rd segment, 23rd to 25th segment have internal foldings. So you have 23rd to 25th segment is the presence of internal medial fold called as Typhlossole. So you have 23rd, 24th and 25th. 25th, not 26th. So 23rd, 24th, 25th, you have internal folding where it is increasing the absorption by increasing the surface area by internal folding, median folding. It is the median folding which we call it as Typhlossole. Very important NEET question, PU board question or CBSE question. So Typhlossole is the folding, inward folding of the intestine. It is the inward folding of the intestine. That you have to remember that. Clear? And after that, you can see there the segment except the last 23, 25th segment is the presence of, okay, you can see the characteristic feature of the intestine after 26th segment, except the last 23, 25th segment is the presence of intestinal median folding of dorsal wall is called as Typhlossole. So they have an internal folding there. They have an internal folding there. This increases the effective area for absorption in the intestine, and the alimentary canal will, after absorption, it will excrete through anus. It will excrete through anus. The indigested organic rich soil possesses digestive tract, okay, digestive enzymes which break down the smaller unabsorbed substance into smaller one, and therefore it is making the soil fertile. Peritoneum exhibits what type of circulatory? Okay, this is circulatory system. We'll do in the next class. Now we will study about, okay, digestive system. Can you see the Typhlossole?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here there is one second. The characteristic feature of the intestine after 26th segment, except the last 23, 25th segment, is the presence of intestinal median fold of dorsal wall called as Typhlossole. So after 26 it is folding, after 26 it is folding, except for 23, 25 he says. So from here, after 26, don't mistake, after 26 you have the Typhlosolar folding there. He's trying, it is but slightly confusing statement there, but remember Typhlossole is after 26 segment. The easy way to remember is numbering. This side you have number, no? Easy way is, I'm not able to access to write. Okay, 1 is mouth, 1, 2, 3 is buccal cavity, 4 is pharynx. You can write down here only in the textbook. 1 mouth, 1, 2, 3 buccal cavity, 4 pharynx, 5, 6, 7 esophagus, 8, 9, gizzard. 9 to 14, stomach. 15 to 26, it is 15 to last is intestine, but 15 to 26 you will have the pre-cephalozolar intestine. And your calciferous gland is present in the stomach, which neutralizes the acidity because of the presence of humic acid. After 26th segment, there is internal folding of the intestine, median folding of intestine, which increases the surface area for absorption, which we call it as typhalozole or tifilozole. And after this, the undigested food is thrown out through anus. This much you have to remember. Shall we come again with this? Coming to digestive system of earthworm. Digestive system of earthworm is complete or incomplete? Digestive system of earthworm is complete or incomplete?
Complete.
Complete.
The body is covered by a non-cellular layer called as protective layer called as
Cuticle.
cuticle. Okay, they have below the epidermis, they have two type of muscles, circular and longitudinal muscles, which is meant for
Locomotion.
locomotion. What type of epithelium is present on earthworm?
Columnar.
Columnar
epithelium.
epithelium.
The first segment of the earthworm is called as
Peristomium.
peristomium. The wedge-like structure present in the first segment is called as
Prostomium.
prostomium. What is the elementary canal structure present in 1, 2, 3 segment?
Buccal cavity.
Buccal cavity.
Fourth
Buccal
segment
cavity.
was- Now I'll say the segment, you will say the feature. After that, I'll say the features or the names, you will tell me the segments. So one is mouth, 1, 2, 3.
Buccal
Buccal
cavity.
Cavity.
4.
Pharynx.
Pharynx.
Okay. 5, 6, 7.
Esophagus.
Esophagus.
8 and 9.
Gizzard.
Okay. Again from 9 to 14.
Stomach.
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 15 to last segment.
Intestine.
Intestine.
Stand.
Time.
15 to last is intestine. 15 to 26 you can take it as preclittelar. Okay. 15 to the first before 26, any 25 you can take it as preclittelar. After 26 it is cephalozolar intestine. After 26 it is cephalozolar intestine. So there is a small short intestinal cecum. What does it produce? Digestive enzymes. What is the gland present in stomach?
Gastric gland.
Gastric. Calciferous gland.
Calciferous gland.
It is, see, very different thing is generally in our stomach, it is acidity is created, okay, because of HCl. But here the acidity is neutralized because already the food is acidic because of humic acid. It is neutralized by calciferous gland secretion. Is that clear? So now let me tell the name, you tell me the segment. Mouth is present in
First
One.
segment.
buccal cavity is present in
1,
1 to 3.
2, 3.
pharynx is present in
Fourth
Four.
segment.
Or
okay, esophagus,
5, 6,
7,
gizzard,
8,
8,
9,
9.
8, 9,
stomach of earthworm.
9 to 14.
10 to 4.
Remember, gizzard and stomach, they continue their number. Here 8 to 9, 9 to 14. There is no skipping of segment. It just immediately completes and the next one is immediately starting there. Okay, stomach. So from 15 to the last
Intestine.
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 to below 26.
8.
Pre-cephalosaur part.
Pre-cephalosolar part. So where do you see the intestinal cecum opening?
25th, 25.
25th.
25th, 26th segment it will open. The pair of short conical intestinal cecum project from the intestine on to the 26th segment. They will open to the 26th segment. That you should remember. Slightly below there. So this is what is there. They are feeding on the decaying organic matter like leaves and other things. They are the best decomposer. They are increasing the soil fertility. Therefore, they are farmer's friend. Therefore, they are farmer's friend. Is this clear to you? This was about alimentary canal or the digestive system of earthworm. Okay. So this is additional information, takes 10 minutes and study on the same in today's after the classes. Now let us go to Platyhelminthes itself and revise, sum up and conclude the first class for today. What does the name Platyhelminthes mean?
Flatworms.
Flatworms. Flatworms.
Dorsoventrally.
How are they flat?
Dorsoventrally.
Flattened.
Okay, most of these organisms are
Endoparasite.
Endoparasite.
the first triploblastic animal is
Platyhelminthes.
even though they are triploblastic, they don't have coelom, therefore they are classified under.
Acoelomate.
What are the characteristic features of parasitic Annelida?
Hooks and suckers.
Hooks and suckers.
Parasitic Platyhelminth.
Hooks and
Hooks and
suckers.
suckers.
So what is the excretory structure of Platyhelminthes?
Stem cells.
Stem cells are also called as.
Protonephridia.
Okay, in this case, both the sexes are present in the same organism. Therefore, the animal is sexuality is
Hermaphrodite.
hermaphrodite. Fertilization is always.
Internal.
Development is always
Larval.
indirect because they have larval stage. Give me the example for flatworm which performs the absorption through their body surface.
Tapeworm.
Give me the example for flatworm which shows high level of regeneration.
Planaria.
Area.
Okay, what is the scientific name of tapeworm?
Tania.
Taenia. What is the scientific name of liver fluke?
Fasciola.
Hepatica. So what is the diagram here in this case?
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm.
Tapeworm. What is the scientific name of tapeworm?
Tania.
Cilia.
This is liver fluke. What is the scientific name of liver fluke?
Fasciola.
So hooks and suckers are present in what type of platyhelminth?
Parasitic.
Generally, most of the platyhelminths are what type of parasites?
Endoparasite.
Parasites. So, if you are interested, we can go much more in detail. So, there is a mnemonic. Okay, MS Dhoni rocks cricket match. Please write down this. There is a mnemonic. MS Dhoni rocks cricket match. We will learn the larval development of Platyhelminthes, that is liver fluke, which you have to study much more in detail in case of human health and diseases chapter. A small introduction to the same will be given to you in tomorrow's class. Somewhere in your textbook, you can write down MS Dhoni rocks cricket match. All first letters capital. M capital, S capital, D capital, R capital, C capital. And underline these words. We will learn an understanding statement on this, how the life cycle of liver fluke is taking place. See, every time when you attend a class, something interesting has to be given, right? So what is required, we have already given. So let us give what is required later also, let us give now itself. Okay. So it is the larval forms where you have intermediate host like snail, and then the later host will be either sheep or human beings. So we will see the life cycle of liver fluke in tomorrow's class. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, this is my first class of zoology. Sir, so I wanted to know like what are the portions have covered till date, sir? So that I can. Yes, sir.
So which branch, ma'am?
TV Raman branch, sir.
You stay nearby?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is your syllabus. What is covered is animal kingdom. We have completed up to Coelenterata. We have started with Ctenophora yesterday. We have completed Platyhelminthes for today.
Yes, sir.
We have completed Platyhelminthes for today. And this week's syllabus is from Ctenophora to Arthropoda.
Yes, sir.
You have collected your books?
Yes, sir. I have collected my books, sir.
Okay, you can start answering the MCQs in your volume. Okay, up to Platyhelminthes you can finish. Okay,
Yes.
so that you get an idea, and we'll also be revising the others also. So yes, Platyhelminthes.
Thank you, sir.
So what is the intention of, okay, medial folding of intestine?
More
case of
surface area
earthworm.
for absorption. More surface area for absorption.
Very good. So this is, please don't get confused. Okay, this is for which group of animals?
Annelida.
Annelida.
Earthworm. Okay. So we discussed about digestive system, and the easy method is, okay, I could not write, there is some restriction over the PDF writing here in this system. Okay, so what you can do is 1, 2, 3, you can put an arrow and write down buccal cavity, 4 pharynx, okay, then 5, 6, 7 will be esophagus, 8 and 9 gizzard, 9, 10, 9, 9, 10,
9 to 14.
9 and 10 will be 9 to 14 will be
Esophagus.
9 to 14
Stomach,
will be
sir.
stomach. 9 to 14 will be stomach. 15 onwards it will be intestine. Okay, and always the conical intestinal medial fold. Okay, you have this the structure intestinal cecum that is opening to 26th segment. This much you have to remember. Is that clear? So which of these organ is a churning organ?
Gizzard.
Where is the calciferous gland present?
Stomach.
Stomach.
What is the function of calciferous gland?
It neutralizes the humic acid.
Very good. It neutralizes the humic acid, because in our case we don't have acidic food into our stomach. Even though it is acidic, it is slightly acidic, not too acidic. But in case of earthworm, as they feed on the decaying organic matter there, it is acidic there. To neutralize it, it produces a substance called from the calciferous gland, which is present in the stomach there. Okay, so this is all about alimentary canal of earthworm. This is the alimentary canal of earthworm. I want you all to study the Narayana volume for Platyhelminthes and come for tomorrow. Tomorrow, let me introduce some more interesting concepts on Platyhelminthes and then go to Aschelminthes. Okay, so that was for today's class, my dear students. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you.